Hi, and welcome to my knit vlog. This is episode 4. I am sitting here knitting, making this video from my home in Denmark. You can call me Marie. I am 43 years old, and it was my husband's idea to put up the camera here, filming the cows in the background, because these cows are kind of curious and they might get a bit closer when I sit here and talk. I have a, what could you call it, a place where I take pictures. The picture at the top of my YouTube channel with the logs and all the yarn is taken just 5 meters from here. This is a very big place for a only residential use. It has been a working farm for over 40 years ago, but we have never had animals in the stables, and the previous owner did neither have animals in the stables. And now I can see there is a fly who's very interested in the camera. I'm hoping that it won't do a lot of buzzing, because that would be really annoying. I think the birds chirping and singing is nice. We have a lot of flies and bees, and we have what do you call them, dragonflies. We have all sorts of little critters here on this estate farm, if you could say. We are 3 kilometers from the nearest city, and the cows aren't ours. It's a local farmer who we rent this little field to. The field is approximately 10,000 square meters big, so that's enough for these 5 or 6 cows. They are also fed with grass and other things. It's a organic farmer that leases the land, so it's organic cattle, cows. It's all cows, no bulls or studs or anything like that. So I am still knitting on my orange Svinkløv tea. Svinkløv is a city up north here in Denmark, where there is a very nice hotel, very famous, very old. The heartbreaking thing is that this very old hotel had a very big fire and burned to the ground, I think 5-10 years ago. An historical building built maybe in the 1890s or something like that, maybe older, I actually don't know. And the book I'm knitting from Susie Haumann's book. I looked it up, and her recipes should be in English on Ravelry, so you can check her out. She's very talented, very classic designs, very good fit. I like her recipes. No, not recipes. Patterns. The thing is, I have taught English for 10 years, so I know that there are 10 times as many words in English as there is in Danish. For instance, I think I said masks instead of stitches, because in Danish a stitch is called a maske, which is the same as a mask. So they are moving closer, aren't they? Maybe you can't see the cows. Then I've been yapping on about cows you can't see for a couple of minutes. But trust me, there are cows in the field if you can't see them. 1, 2, 6 of them. 6 very curious cows, but you might not be able to see them because they are over here somewhere. Yes. So this was actually my first stitch I recorded just at the beginning of this little knit vlog, because I haven't had the time to knit today. I have 3 daughters and a son, and my third daughter, who is 9 years old, has been coughing for a couple of days, so today I brought her with me to work. It's not all workplaces in Denmark it would be possible or acceptable to bring your child to work, but where I work we do that as long as the children aren't, disturbing anyone, then we can bring them. And my 9-year-old, she was just, I put a couple of what do you call them, headphones, and she had an iPad, and then she could sit there for a couple of hours while I was doing my job. She helped me with some of the things that she could help with, and so we made the most of her not being, really sick, but not well enough to go to school. She's in 2nd grade and starting 3rd grade next year. Danish children start at school when they are 6 years old, and they normally go to have at least 10 years of schooling in Denmark. So I've been like, having her with me at work, then going home early, giving her some lunch, then working some more, picking up my son. He is starting in a new daycare. The last year before Danish children start at school, they go to kind of like preschool, but not like the American preschool. It's kind of like you teach them the alphabet and the numbers, and you teach them how to, be quiet in a group. So this group usually is the same group that they will go to school with. Our local school is not that big, so all of the children going at that school the same age as Carl, my youngest, they will be in the same class because they're only 22. So in this way, when they all go to preschool, then they get to learn each other, and the personnel in the preschool can inform the school about how the children are, and if they were supposed to be in 2 classes, which they are not, then the grown-ups could tell the school which children would be best to put in the same class. Oh, now it's Carl trying to find me. Hang on. Sorry about that. I am home alone with the 2 youngest children. This is my excuse for just sitting, knitting, not having to watch children's TV. Just sit here, talk to you, practice all these sayings. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this knit vlog is for 10 years I talked English 2 times a week, teaching English grammar, teaching cultural differences between Denmark and English-speaking countries. And I can feel that even though that I am still as good as understanding English, because I listen to a lot of English podcasts at work, and in my spare time I do a lot of typing at my job, and a lot of routine jobs, which makes it possible for me to, listen to a podcast at the same time as I am working, because then I don't get so distracted. Some of my colleagues listen to music, some listen to books, audiobooks. So I know that I am good at, I have a lot of what you would call inactive language. I understand a lot of words, but the difficulty is that when you don't use your English, when you don't speak it enough, when you don't use it on a daily basis, especially if I haven't lived in English speaking country ever. I can see that I know people who've lived in the US or maybe in England for a while, and maybe it's just me thinking it's that, but I think that because they have spoken English so intensely that you do when you live in a country where you need to speak the language. You need to speak English if you live in England. You need to speak English if you live in America. Of course you have. Canada, whatever. South Africa, Australia. So when you don't have that experience of living in an English-speaking country, you only have the experience of teaching English, listening to a lot of English, practicing English, especially on your own. I did a lot of talking to the radio, preparing for my exam. Let's just say that a car is a very safe space. But I can feel that now that I am not speaking that much English as I have done for the last 10, 12 years, I feel like it's slipping away, This speaking English is kind of like a muscle. When you don't use it, it goes slim. I can see that I had German in school for years back. I've never taught German. I am horrible at German. My French is even worse. And especially speaking, I'm better at reading both German and French than I am at speaking it, because when you understand, the rules of a language, and you know a lot of different languages, then there is kind of like a system. Then you can usually, if you look at a couple of words in a dictionary, then you get a good idea of what are we talking about, maybe. But talking German to a German would not be something I would be trying anytime soon. I tried to teach myself German again through Duolingo. It's an app, very good app. Highly recommend it if you want to learn a language. But you have to have some, stamina. You need to be patient. You need to be, you need to keep on doing it, even when it's, hard or boring or something like that. So, yeah. I need to speak more English so that I don't lose the fluency in my language, because when I don't speak enough English, even just talking to a camera here, I can feel it helping me. Of course, talking to a camera, having the cows behind me right now, thinking about that there is a road where my neighbors could drive by anytime soon, of course makes me a bit self-conscious. And when you are not a native speaker, then you need to use a little more brain power to construct your sentences. But maybe that's a good challenge, because when I sit in the car and I have a conversation with myself in the car in English, trying to listen to what I'm saying, which flaws I do, there is some classical flaws that Danes do, because even though Danish is not that far from English, if you look of the linguistics of it, then it's far enough away from each other that the way you make particular vowels and the way you pronounce particular sounds in the English system is something that Danes tend to make mistakes in. And I know I will never ever speak as good English as someone who was born in Britain or in America or in Australia or anywhere else where the native tongue is English. Then I would like not to be as bad as some Danish politicians have been. And when you watch European politicians speak English, some of them are pretty good, some of them are horrible, horrible. But you need to remind yourself when you speak a second or third language, for that matter, that as long as you can make yourself understandable, then you've come a long way. Because that's what language is about. It's about communication between people. Because when we communicate with each other, we have the opportunity to understand each other. When we have the opportunity to understand each other, we have the opportunity to learn, to grow, to become better people. Communication is important. And sometimes making a mistake here. Communications might not be speaking fluently, might just be, being able to say, You can do a lot with body language. I think they say that what 70% of all communication is non-verbal. I think it's something like that. Then there is the cultural differences, because even, is that a butterfly? We have all kinds of critters in this garden. Yeah, language is important. It's good that we can communicate with each other. Yeah, I think I need to wrap this up because I'm not sure this is what I planned on telling you, but that's the way it's going to be on this knit vlog. It's going to be me knitting, talking about whatever comes to mind. Cows, knitting. I don't think you could see the cows at any point. I'm very excited about looking at this shoot, because maybe there are no cows. It's just me yapping about cows and English and knitting. And why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the fun of it. And I hope you enjoy sitting, watching me knit, talk about everything. And I hope you enjoy a cup of something, or doing laundry, or maybe knitting, or whatever makes you happy. That's all I hope for you, to have a nice day. And I hope I'll see you again. Of course, you should remember to subscribe, leave me a comment, or give me a like. Please ask a question or give me a suggestion to what you want me to talk about. I might not do it because I'm kind of... Somebody called my brain a popcorn brain. She's kind of right. It goes in its own directions. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll be back, and I hope you have a nice day. I am saying goodbye for now, and I hope you will return next time I put out a knit vlog on this channel. Thank you for watching. As you can see, the cows here. Maybe you can hear the flies. It's a beautiful day. It's actually almost 6:30 here in Denmark. The sun is still shining. It's June, it's midsummer. Hi girls! Oh my god, see all, you can see all the flies. And one of them is biting me. Oh, sorry. I can't turn off the sun. This is where I've been filming. You can see my little setup. And you can see my house. Our forest. We have our own forest. Our garden is behind those trees. Yeah. Then you gotta look at the cows. See you soon.